Alright, on to step number 2. We're going to install the concession window. And this came in a box. Pretty well packaged. If anything was to ding the box, it wouldn't hit the window, that's for sure. But let's measure it out and see exactly where we're going to fit it. Of where it's going. What I want to do is, and it's going very close to the top, what I want to do is see the size of the exterior lip. That way I know how much space to leave myself from the top. We measured to cut out the size of the hole. We're not measuring from this outermost lip. We're going to be measuring from the inside edges, because the window's going to slide in, and then on the outside you're going to need something to screw the window into the trailer with, and that's what this lip is designed for. And it's not a 1.5 to 2-inch lip like I thought, so that'll allow us to put it as close to the top as I have the window measured out, and online it said 60 by 36, and it is exactly 60 by 36. Those were not rough estimates. This is how and where I'm gonna hang the window. I'm 5'8". When I walk up to it, if I stick my hand straight out, I'm like at the bottom of the window, and it'll have a serving table, so right around here. So I imagine this is a pretty decent height. Anyone taller, it would be uncomfortable to be any lower. So I have it marked out, and then I have drilled holes all the way through. And this screw is lining up with the bottom of this hole. This screw is lining up with the bottom of this hole. And when I set my straight bar on it, I'll double check that the holes are lined up. The bar comes to the very bottom of the holes, because this bottom of the hole represents the bottommost edge, and this side one represents the outermost edge. So that's the references I'm going by, like so. The line lines up with the bottom of the hole, as it does there. And I'll put an X. I know which side of the line to cut on. Right. So now you can see how that worked. The outermost edges of the circle acted as our line, as our guide. And now I'll get a sawzall, or I might, I don't want to risk hitting one of these metal beams, so I'll use a sawzall, and I'll get to cutting out the inside, cutting out the insulation, and then cutting out the skin from the outside. To record myself doing some of the work, and I forgot, I got carried away. I apologize about the background noise. It's the AC unit going on non-stop. We're in the middle of summer. But basically, when I was cutting it with the Sawzall, and I had a metal blade on, which worked out pretty good. And you see, I didn't hit any of these studs really with the Sawzall at all. But what I was doing was I drilled, which I don't have my drill bit on, it's right there, but I drilled like 3 consecutive holes, maybe even 4 next to each other, enough to get the blade through there, and then I turned it at a very sharp angle, and I just basically cut along like such. And when I got to a point like that, I just let the blade sit along the edge there. But I just held it at an angle, that way when the Sawzall was at full extension, it wasn't like right here, you think you're fine because you're not touching it, but the Sawzall extends, so it would punch through the trailer. So I held it at an angle like that, worked it along, and that's how I was able to cut off the wood. Now we're gonna be using the angle grinder. I went and got a battery operated Bauer. I really like the Bauer tools from Harbor Freight. They work really well. We got some discs, and we're gonna go on the outside and cut the skin. The holes taped up that I drilled for references to the inside because we got a bunch of rain. But again, that's where the concession window is gonna go, and as we walk up to it, you know, this is me just basically sticking my hand out, and I'm at the bottom of the window, and it's gonna have a table, one of those serving table things. So that's a pretty good height, but we're gonna follow those lines, 60 by 36, and cut this joint out. The angle grinder and some safety goggles. We're ready to get to cutting. All right, I have all the perimeters cut. And now we are going to go on the inside and cut the metal studs out with the Sawzall. See here, our lines look pretty good. Hopefully when I cut it out, it won't take too many attempts to get it in. But we got these metal cutting blades for the Sawzall. And oh yeah, on the angle grinder, which again, I love Harbor Freight's Bauer line of tools, but this is the one wheel that we used. Still got a lot of life left on it. It was 4.5 inch, and it cut through really well. I bought a 10-pack. I didn't know why. I thought I was gonna fly through them. But on to the next step. So that was all but the last one here on the on the bottom. The other three I cut, and I cut this wide one that's like double stacked or whatever, just to see how it would go. And honestly, the whole thing took about 4 or 5 minutes. It's going very good with those blades. And now I'm gonna start along the top. Loose off the studs on top, and I have it hanging. There's something, I think, well, maybe on this bottom side that's holding it up. I'm gonna try to wiggle it loose real quick. Right, everything went awesome. There it is. And you know what, such a relief, because I brought that fire extinguisher explicitly today, and in case it was expired or the trigger didn't work or something, I had this bottle and another bottle of water somewhere around here, because I wasn't sure if I was gonna cause sparks that would light this foam on fire. And you know, we got it glued in there. It's not going anywhere, so got it cut out though. Nothing happened. Beautiful, gorgeous day to be serving donuts. Next step is going to be taking this I think it's a 1x2, which is, oh shoot, as you know, actually only 3/4 by 1 and something. But anyway, I'm going to take it, and it's going to fit perfectly in there. Boom. And when we drill our window into our sheet metal, it's gonna have a lot better of an area to catch onto when it's not against a stud. We're actually gonna go outside, and we're gonna put a mark, because as you see over here, we got screws on this stud, but on this one we don't. So I'm gonna put a mark, just a tiny dot, so I know where my studs are, so I can put a screw in every single one and make sure we're fastened in there nice and tight. Alrighty, I got the support in. Again, that way when we screw in, we have something to catch other than just these studs, which I do have let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 8 points that is going to be attached to the frame of the trailer. That's really good. Just thought this was a really cool view. We have the inside of the trailer, our insulation, and an inch of space everywhere else. I mean, right here we have support for the concession window, but this inch of space is what's going to buffer the heat as it tries to make its way in, hits the insulation, travels up, and that way we stay nice and insulated. Alrighty, well, it took some back and forth taking it off and putting it back on, because I had, again, cut it a little more snug than a little too much. I did make a little bit of a boo-boo. I don't have the tube with me, but I thought this sealant was going to dry clear, and it is not drying clear. It does in fact stay solid white. And that was, oh, let's take a look at it from the inside. 100% Supreme. I didn't even see that, not paintable. My mistake, but it's good strength silicone either way. Put a bunch of it on the lip and in the corners along the bottom to help the window slide in. Again, it was a snug fit. Now I'm gonna go around the window, put some three times strength premium construction adhesive around this gap. So that's what we're doing now. We ended up using an entire tube of the 3-strength Loctite super adhesive glue. I put it all along the edges. Just give it some more strength. I think she looks great. Nice and square, nice and level. Regret and recommendation would be to double check that you grab the clear drying silicone and not the white drying silicone. I'll get that edge looking crispy after a while. You see here where I had studs, I put 2 screws just for extra strength, and I put 1 screw above each hinge. Yeah, I think it looks great, and I'll let it dry on there nice before I lift it up and down and see how that works.